This question is from the XAT 2024 paper. It's a time, speed and distance question. Let's first look at some of the basic concepts and then we will come back to this question. Now the speed is defined as distance traveled per unit of time. Let's say if I keep the distance constant, then speed is inversely proportional to time. That means when you increase the speed to travel a certain distance, your time taken will reduce. Let me take another example. Let's say there are two individuals, A and B, decides to travel the same distance. Then their speed ratios will be in the inverse proportion to their time values. So it will become TB divided by TA, right? So SA by SB will be TB by TA. The speed that you are keeping in the numerator, corresponding time you should be keeping in the denominator, and vice versa, that the speed which you are keeping in the denominator should come in the numerator, time corresponding to that should come in the numerator, right? So with the help of this question, this example, we will try to solve this particular question. A flight traveling to a distance of 11,200 kilometers was supposed to take off at 6:30 a.m. Now, because of the bad weather, it is delayed by 3 hours. That means flight is now taking off at 9:30 a.m. The pilot increased the average speed in order to cover up the delay, and he increases the speed by 100 kilometers per hour from the initially planned speed. Now to reduce the overall delay to 1 hour, this reduces the overall delay to 1 hour. So if you were traveling at the same planned speed and starting at 9:30 a.m., then you would have delayed or reached the destination later by 3 hours. Because of this increase in the speed by 100 kilometers per hour, you are only showing a delay of 1 hour. Had the pilot increased the average speed by 350 kilometers per hour, then what is the time at which the flight is reaching its destination? That's what the question is. So let me say that the usual speed was S and the usual time it would have taken to travel this distance was T, right? So now in the next case where you are increasing the speed by 100 kilometers per hour because your flight was initially delayed by 3 hours, you are trying to cover up certain time and you are increasing the speed by 100 kilometers per hour. What ends up happening is you are only showing a delay of 1 hour. Now understand that if you would have traveled by the same speed, you would have shown a delay of 3 hours. But now you are showing a delay of only 1 hour. That means you have covered up 2 hours. This time that you have covered up is a time that was reduced because of the increase in the speed by 100 kilometers per hour. So the travel time in this particular case should be what? T minus 2 hours, right? Now, as discussed, when the distance is constant in both these situations, you are traveling the same distance of 11,200 kilometers. So the distance is constant. So the ratio of their speeds should be in the inverse ratio of their time period. So let's look at this. So we have S by S plus 100. This is the ratio of their speeds. This should be equals to what? Inverse ratio of their time period. So what will happen? T will come in the denominator and T minus 2 will come in the numerator. We also have one more understanding where we say usual speed into usual time is equals to 11,200 kilometers, right? Now with the help of this, we will try to make an equation and see what values can we find out. Now this is where the question becomes tricky, that sometimes what you will do is you will replace this value of S in terms of T and you will hit an equation which you are not able to solve, which will be a quadratic equation. At that point in time, you should always keep on your mind that you had another option of replacing T also, right? So as of now, I'm replacing T, but if you're sitting at home and trying to solve this by replacing the value of S and you hit a dead end while solving the quadratic equation, then come back and try to replace the value of T rather than replacing the value of S, and you will find that the question will look a little easier. So this is for you to learn from this question, that whenever you come down to a situation where you are not able to solve a question, see if you changing the variable might help you get a better equation that will help you solve the question. Okay, so let's replace the value of T over here. T value will be what? 11,200 divided by S. So S by S plus 100. And what will be the value of T? The value of T will be 11,200 divided by S minus 2 divided by T, which will be again 11,200 divided by S. We will just try to solve this equation. So what do we get? Our left hand side still remains the same, S by S plus 100. What happens to our right hand side? Our right hand side will become 11,200 minus 2S in the numerator, and in the denominator this S will get cancelled out and we will have 11,200 over here as well, right? Now let's try to break this equation further and see what do we really get. We will get 11,200 S on one side and on the other side we will have four values, 11,200 s once again, minus of 2s square you will have, then followed by 11,200 into 100. So we will have four zeros over there, and we will have a minus 200s, minus 200s. So this will be the equation that we will have. 11,200s will get cancelled out. So what are we left with? Minus 2s square plus 112 with four zeros minus 200s is what you have, right? So I can divide this entire equation by a minus 2, and the equation that will come out of this will be s square plus 100s minus a 56 with four zeros should be equals to 0, right? Now understand this thing, that looking at this equation you should not be fearful. Look at four zeros with 56,000 and you can actually understand that this is some two product of values where you are looking at these two values to be in terms of hundreds, right? So that will give you four zeros, and 56 is what you are looking at. You want 100s over here. If you observe this 56 very carefully, you will realize 800 into 700 will give you this value, which is 5,60,000, right? So can I break this up further by splitting the middle term and say s square plus 800s minus 700s should be minus of 5,60,000 should be equals to 0, should be equals to what? 0, correct? If you solve this further, you will realize it will turn out to be s plus 800 into s minus 700 equals 0, which gives me the value of s as 700. The value of minus 800 has to be rejected because the speed cannot be in negative values. So S will turn out to be 700 kilometers per hour. Right now, if S turns out to be 700 kilometers per hour, I can replace it over here and I can get the value of T from there, right? So T will effectively turn out to be what? 112 divided by 7, and 112 divided by 7 turns out to be what? 7 ones are 7, and then what you are looking at is 42. So 7 6 are 42. So time was originally 16 hours that you have taken when you were traveling with the regular speed. Now the question is saying that when speed is increased by 350 kilometers per hour, what time will you reach the destination? We know the starting time of this flight, which is at 9:30 a.m. right? Now what time will you reach there? So if I know the travel time, I'll be able to answer this problem. So I know the value of T now. Can I find out the value of S also? S is 700, that is also there. So now if you increase your speed by 350, then your value will turn out to be, the new speed will turn out to be 1050, and corresponding to that you need to find out the value of time. Let's say in this case you are taking a time of a hours and you are traveling a distance of 11200 kilometers. So what will be the value of a over here is what we need to find out. So 1120 divided by 105 is what you are looking at. So cancel 7. So 7 ones are 7 and 7 fives are 35. So 7 ones are 7 and 7 six are 42. I can still cancel a 5 from there. So 5 threes are 15 and 5 threes are 15 and 5 twos are 10. So 32 by 3 hours it is talking about, right? So 32 by 3 hours would turn out to be 10 2 by 3 hours, and 10 2 by 3 hours, convert this 2 by 3 into minutes. 2/3 of 60 will turn out to be 40. So 10 hours 40 minutes is what you are going to take to travel this distance. If you are starting at 9:30 a.m. and you take 10 hours 40 minutes more after this, then you are going to reach your destination at 8:10 p.m. And that becomes the answer for this question.